Heyo, so I thought I'd do a video, and a quick one at that, to fully explain after I've sat down for a while, since, what was it, Saturday, that I had my big update, and I thought I'd sit here and kind of talk to you guys about it and explain a little bit more in detail what happened. So Saturday I met a very new, or a new to me, registrar, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But always meeting someone new is very, it's not annoying for me, but it's definitely something that I try not to have because of the extensive history that I have. And it saves a lot of time, me seeing the same person or people, because it takes about 10 minutes to go through my history, even just basic kind of like zip through. So, but luckily this bloke had read my stuff beforehand, so props to him for doing that. Actually, props to him. And yeah, the bloke was really nice. Actually, I wouldn't mind having him again, to be quite frank with you. Whoa. Now this is the only problem that I'm gonna have, is that I'm trying to do something, or I'm trying to film whilst my phone is on charge. Anyway, so what happened? So I, from the start, the guy wasn't very happy with how thin I looked. Obviously, this was his first time he's ever seen me. But the fact is that I, in my adult life, have always been, there's been about a 20 kilo range that I have always been in my adult life, probably since I was 13, actually. So nearly 17, 18 years of my life, I've always been between 60 kilo and 80 kilo, always around that area. And more specifically, 65 to 75 is where I'm mainly at. Like, mainly, like, that's been probably the last, like, 16 plus years, like, not 16 plus years, about 13, 12 years since I've been ill. And obviously the idea of nutrition came up. Obviously, you see me, I'm very thin. I haven't got much to me. I've got a big ass. I don't know if you can see that. Big ass bruise there. And he wasn't very happy with how I looked, like, you know, my build. Obviously, being 5'10", I look quite skinny for someone that's at about 68 kilo. But unfortunately, I can't tolerate half the stuff that they kind of want me to use. So stuff like the 40 juice and 40 sips and stuff like that, I'm no good with them. They don't play well with me at all. And last time that I was under a dietitian, I developed quite a weird health, like, food complex. And I don't want to say it's a full-blown eating disorder, because I don't think it was. But I would check every single thing that I ate, and if it didn't have like a notable amount of protein in it, I wouldn't bother eating it, because it would be, I was always taught like protein, protein, protein. And if it had no notable amount of protein in it, I'd just be like, what's the point on eating it? Probably a little bit of an eating disorder, but I don't want to say it was. And obviously the NG and NJs, they were mentioned. I had them before I opened up this. Did I open up this page then? I'm not too sure. I think I opened this page after my transplant. So before my transplant, I used to have nasal tubes that would go all the way into my stomach, and I'd be on overnight feeds. So I've been fed through a tube. If anyone knows about that, it's not the most amazing things. I weren't too bothered about how I looked personally. I had like a massive, tube out my nose. I went clubbing and stuff like that, no problem whatsoever. I had no issues. But obviously the issue that I had was I kept on throwing them up. So every time I'd throw up, I'd take the whole line out, and I had about 8 or 9 lines in about 12 weeks. So it wasn't a very good idea, because I had to keep going hospital to have it all done. and then redone again, and it just became a nightmare. So obviously the only other issue, or the only other thing that I could imagine, if they were to really, really want me to put on weight, I know that I'm not going to be able to put on weight. I try all sorts. I eat everything. I eat, you know, I eat so much stuff like popcorns and nuts. I absolutely eat loads of nuts, like cashews and pistachios, because they're really good in healthy fats. I'm not gaining anything. The only way that they could probably get me now to do anything to do with nutrition would probably be a peg feed. That hasn't been talked about, and I don't think it will, but it's always something that, again, I wouldn't be too bothered about. I'm not, you know, to me, it's not, it don't rank there as something that I really hate. Like, I'd hate eye surgery and stuff like that, but that don't really measure high for me. But yeah, so my kidneys are confirmed that there's going to be that they have been damaged. Just like my teeth, the medication that I'm on has destroyed function of some of my kidneys, not to a really amazingly bad extent, but they are not working at full capacity. So I do need to go see a kidney specialist, which I looked up what it was called, but I can't remember. Nephrologist? It might be one of them. I'm not too sure. Might be. But basically, I'm going to go see a kidney specialist to see what kind of stuff they can do for me. I'm going to be putting on, or I'm going to have an MRI and some sort of brain dye scan to check my brain for obvious signs of hepatic encephalopathy, which is when your liver releases toxins, and the toxins go up to your brain and make you have, like, I don't want to say dementia, but like dementia-like symptoms. So I'm having that checked, and hopefully I haven't got any clear, signs of that either happening, but it's something that I have noticed a lot of difference with my memory. And I gotta say thank you to everybody that I speak to on a more daily basis, for being there, kind of like, and being patient with me, because I know that it annoys me myself trying to think of stuff and having long pauses to kind of think what I'm trying to say. So big thanks for that. I'm going to be having 6 weekly appointments, so an appointment every 6 weeks. It's usually every 3 months, so they've slashed it in half, just to check what's going on at the moment. I think that they're kind of a bit concerned. But the most important thing that I was told is that I will need another transplant in my life. It's not if I need one, it's when I need one, and it is going to happen one day. I'm not too sure how I feel about this just yet. I've not had the time to process it myself. I've had people around me and stuff like that, so usually I kind of have to think by myself for me to think about what I feel about it all. I was very plain, matter of fact, it's whatever, it's got to be done, to the doctor, but I'm not sure what to think. I think that circumstances have changed an awful lot since I was last facing transplant, because I was relisted a few years back, but took off the list because my health improved, and I am quite I'm in a different position as what I was a few years back. Obviously, I've got my goddaughter, and I've got her siblings. I've got my nieces and nephews. I've got a little bit more people that I want to be around to see grow up. So that's kind of where we're at with everything. I want to give a massive shout out to my friend Sobia, who has had a rough time of it this year so far. She's had 2 transplant calls, 2 ready to go transplant calls, and she's not been successful in even one. So the next call will be her 4th. And it's hard, because I mean, I only had 2 calls. I had the 1 call that weren't successful, and then the 2nd call, and I had it all going. But to have 3 calls and hopefully the 4th to be the call, I can imagine what kind of is going on in her head. So big love to you, Sabia. So yeah, I will be putting this into a video for other places. So I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye bye, guys.